Hello, I am Julie Fei-Fan Balzer, and I am a printmaker, a painter, and a collage artist living and working outside of Boston. So I have two pieces in a show at the Attleboro Arts Museum. My first time being in a show at a museum, which is pretty exciting. But more than that, one of my pieces actually won a Juror's Prize, which is absolutely staggering to me. So they gave out 6 juror prizes in the show, and I won one of them. So I wanted to show you a couple peeks at the show. The art museum is the Attleboro Arts Museum is like maybe an hour drive from here. So I went to the opening and I haven't been back since. So I sort of took photos in dodging people. So take a peek and let me know what you think of the show. So this is my piece that won, and I have my little artist there too, since he also helped make it. And here's the little bit that I said about it. Memory of a Summer Day is both about my 4-year-old son and an accidental collaboration with him. I'm currently creating metaphorical maps of time spent with him. The artwork in this series strives to both capture the essence of our adventures and my own complicated experience of motherhood. I was in the early stages of this mixed media piece when he asked if he could paint on it. The mother in me said, "Of course," and the artist in me cringed. It's a lesson that motherhood keeps teaching me. Let go. So this is a project statement, and a lot of times, by the way, in submissions they ask you for a project statement, for a like a series statement, for your art statement. So it's always good to have some writing around, and maybe sometimes even write like on the back of your work or whatever what you were thinking about, what was going on, so that you don't have to actually remember. So this is the second piece that I have in the show. It's called Twilight Reverie. As a biracial person who is usually assumed to be white, I'm acutely aware of the dissonance between external appearance and internal realities. Motherhood has been that kind of an experience for me, the clash of perception and reality on so many levels. Twilight Reverie was created at a time when I was starting to feel like I was no longer drowning in the overwhelm of mothering a child. I created this piece as a metaphor for the experience. And this piece is mixed media collage. I made the trees by basically creating a tape stencil. And then it's just tons and tons of layers of little bits in the kind of land, I guess you could call it that, that's surrounding that kind of yellow sky. In this little video clip, you can see a little bit of the exhibit. I'm trying not to be too intrusive when people are chatting and looking at the art and all that kind of stuff. I loved this print. This was also a Juror's Award winner. I just thought it was beautiful. So this is a print that was also hand tinted, and it's an etching is what it said on the little card. And I think it's so sort of moody and dreamy, and it's got some very fancy double matting there too. This was a really interesting piece. I thought this kind of kaleidoscope of flowers. I met the artist, really interesting young woman. I think she just graduated from art school. She was there with some other art school colleagues. Are they called colleagues? Co-students? Oh my gosh, I must be tired. I can't even think of words. So I love both these pieces, the lighthouse photo, and then the photo below is particularly interesting. It obviously it's a photo, but then the frame is a mosaic that the artist made to match the photo, which she also took. And it's really, really striking in person. When you look at it, you can see kind of the transition there. And it's kind of seamless and interesting. And maybe this is an art form that exists a lot, but I haven't ever seen it before. And it actually was chosen as the postcard image. It's a little bit of a reflection going on, but you can kind of see here we are outside the exhibit with the big image. This was such a lovely little piece. I love the sense of the figures going outside of the edges, of the artwork. I love that the artist, Willa McKee, basically made a poem to go with the work. I actually have a series of work that I wrote haikus for, and I wasn't sure if it was too weird, so this really made me feel encouraged to keep doing it. Again, you can see the details in here. This was sort of hung a little bit low, so I was crouching over to stare at it. But look at that. Aren't those cool figures? And I love her little, backgrounds that she's made. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. This is a piece by a woman, Margaret, I think it's Scaramern, but I'm not sure because I've heard different pronunciations on it, but it's mixed media and it felt very much like work that I've seen a lot of people talk about that they want to do. It's very textural, it's very embellished, it has aspects of nature, there's handwork and weaving and just all sorts of interesting stuff in it and so many little marks. Now, she had two pieces in the show. This is the second piece, and you can see that they're related. In fact, in many ways, they feel to me like they might be from the same series. I'm not sure, but so many fabulous details. I just wanted to stare at them and take a look at, all the wonderful little marks. Definitely a treat for the eyes. This one I had trouble photographing. You can see the terrible glare on it, but it was a beautiful, moody piece, and there's something in that face that just captured me and pulled me in. Like, there's a mood, right? So I thought that these flowers were lovely, and I suspected they were prints from far away, but I had to take a closer look and actually read the card to see that they were. They're solar plate etching, intaglio, and relief. And I like that she explains a little bit about, her thought behind it. So this is an interesting piece. I talked to the juror about it, and she mentioned that when she was, jurying the show, she didn't quite realize how much texture this piece had. In person, it was a spectacularly textured piece. Like, you wanted to run your hands over it. This was one of two encaustic pieces in the show that I loved so much. I love the color. I love the shapes. I love everything about it. And, it's a combination of collage and encaustic. And I definitely went home and looked up some encaustic videos. And I've never liked the smell of encaustic, so I have been actually mucking around a little bit with some encaustic look without the actual encaustic smell. And here's another look at the show. You can see how it's a really flexible gallery space. And so, the walls move, and I'm sure, and lots of different shows obviously can be hung in different ways. There's my artwork again. Hi, artwork. There's that really textured piece again, and there's so much beautiful natural light flooding in. It was a lovely, lovely experience. I thought this was a really impressive piece with all those reflections, and particularly interesting when you look up close at the painting because it has such a different appearance in this detail than it did at getting the overall effect from across the room. Woodblock print, multicolor woodblock print, and so just impressive and beautiful. Definitely something that feels like it belongs in a museum, which it is in a museum. And in the detail, you can really see how tiny all those little cuts are. So I appreciated that Walt took the time to explain a little bit about his print and sort of the history behind it and, what we're actually looking at. This is the second encaustic piece that I loved. It was a big, tall piece with lots and lots of details, which is why I have a couple detail photos for you. So I really love about encaustic is that kind of soft, muted, layered look where you can tell there's stuff underneath, and yet it's kind of slightly mysterious, a little bit buried. And I liked the colorway on this too, that like black and white with just a splash of yellow. I thought was super duper cool. This was a lovely photograph, but a photograph of a photograph is never good, especially under glass with light glare. So trust me when I say this piece is much better in person. And one last look at the art before I go. I was thinking when the gallery cleared out high piece that I wanted to get some video without quite so many people standing in front of it. So we stayed till the bitter end when they were kicking us out so that we could get those photos. As always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time and your focus and all of that good stuff. Please leave a comment if you enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all of those things so much. You can also sign up for my free Friday newsletter. You can find the link down in the comment section on this video, or I guess it's called the video description. And I'll see you the next time.